Well, 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 look who has come back for more. And I could not be happier. Thank you for coming to the 45-minute bookworm out. This whole series has been one of my very favorites that I have recorded so far. And the 45-minute version of this series is probably my favorite in the series. So, well, I mean, usually the 45 minutes are my favorites because they have all the moves, and that's the most fun. Anyway, so we will get started with some warm-ups in just a few seconds. So we'll start with cliffhanger stretches. So basically you will be bending over and putting your hands on the floor, or at least as far as you can. Right there. If you can't touch the floor, again, just get as close as you can. The more that you practice this, the closer you will get. And if you want to make it a little more interesting for yourself, just go from side to side. You can sway or touch your toes, anything like that. Next will be love triangle stretches. If you've done a triangle stretch before, this is pretty triangle stretch specifically. As a nod to the common love triangle trope in many books and other stories. I think it has very much declined in popularity in recent years. Let me know your opinion on that. Next up will be the bookworm / inchworm, which can be a great cardio move if you add push-ups or hops or mountain climbers or things like that, but here we are just using it as an active stretch. You know, you're still feeling your body warming up, but you know, I mean, it's still a warm-up because it's a pretty basic move, but it's not strenuous. All right, writer blocks. So basically just act like you are blocking things that are coming at you. This is just a pun on the unfortunately common phenomenon known as writer's block. If you are a writer out there, feel free to vent about whatever writer's block you have experienced or are experiencing. We have all been there. Back to the cliffhanger stretches. If you feel like you need a little bit more warming up, you know, you want to make this stretch a little bit more intense for you to warm up your muscles a bit more, you can always go up and down. Like stand back up and then go back down. Just that little bit of extra movement could help you feel more prepared for what is to come. Back to the triangle stretches, 15 seconds on each side. You know, I say that love triangles have declined in popularity, but for a while there they were all the rage, and I want to say that probably is because of, well, I mean, they were certainly a thing long before the modern age, but I think that Twilight probably skyrocketed them to popularity like never before, like it hadn't been in a long time. All right. Back to those inchworms / bookworms. This is very clearly just another pun based on the theme of the workout. It would not have been complete without this. Keep going. You can also add a plank at the bottom if you just want to stay down there for a few extra seconds. It'll warm up your core a little bit more. And back to those writer blocks. If you are a writer currently experiencing writer's block because of things that are like attacking your brain, distracting you, pretend perhaps that this is you blocking those things. Maybe just imagining that will get over the block. Blocks for blocks. Okay. Now we will start with our first move in our first circuit, which is story elements. Basically, moves representing the kinds of things that you might learn about in English class or simply from being very involved in reading or writing. So pacer runs. Just go at a light jog for about 3 or 4 seconds and then sprint, just like that. This is representative of the different kind of pacing that a good story needs. Some parts of it need to be a little bit slower or lighter to set things up, to explain things, to flesh out the characters, to let the audience emotionally rest or absorb new things. And then of course we need faster paces sometimes to move the story along and keep it exciting and engaging. All done! Well, not all done. That was the first move, the first official move. Okay, next up will be deadlift tips and hops representing rising and falling action. We'll explain the move first. So you'll see me lifting my legs behind me, alternating as I tip downward, and then coming up with a hop without putting my foot on the floor, like that. If for whatever reason you are not comfortable lifting up your leg, you can just stay on both feet, but try to hop as you come up if you can, just for that little bit of extra cardio, or rise up on your toes. Or if you are lifting your legs with me but you feel like you need to tap your foot before going into the hop, feel free. I mean, maybe I should have let myself do that sometimes as I struggle with balance. Alright, next will be plot and pinch point plyos. These are basically like scissor lunges except without the actual lunges. And you'll be moving from side to side as you do them. So if you have ever seen like a wave graph or like a picture of a wave, it's supposed to show plot and pinch points in a story and where they should go. At the crest of each wave is a plot point, which is an event or an element or an aspect that fundamentally informs the plot or the story, or changes its direction or establishes the characters, things like that, or develops the characters. And a pinch point is something that happens to raise the stakes or clarify how high the stakes are, or just shows you how terrible the antagonist is, things like that. Okay, speaker tag shuffle jumps. So you'll be shuffling from side to side, and then when you get to one side, raise your arms and jump twice. Just like this. So this is just a fun little representation of, sometimes I imagine that I am a little pair of speaker tags or quotation marks, rushing to the beginning and the end of sentences that require them, such as dialogue or direct quotes from other people, or funny little phrases, things like that. It's a lot of work to be speaker tags, as you can see. You can also shuffle more than I am if you want to. I just had to stay within the camera lens. Perfect. All right, next up we have side kicks. We'll focus on just one side for this round in the circuit, and you'll do the other side when we repeat. And of course I had to include this because so many of the best protagonists in books have sidekicks. So basically you are bending over and bring up your leg and snap it out, but not so hard that you're going to hurt your knee, okay? Be gentle with yourself, but do it as hard as you can with as much momentum as you can. Make sure that you're not just sort of lifting up your leg in some lackluster way. Try to really kick. Okay, next we've got panther squats. So you'll be in a wide stance going down into a squat and then coming up quickly and pulling your arms up as though you are pulling on a pair of pants. Very, very big pants. Like this. Yes. And yes, with that little hop at the top if you can do it. Otherwise, just rise up on your toes or just keep your feet firmly planted where they are. So, writers probably know what a pantser is. If you're a reader but not very involved in writing, I'll explain. A pantser is a writer who creates a story from beginning to end, largely without an outline, and maybe not even necessarily a clear idea of how they want it to end. They just start writing and see where it goes. So you've probably heard the phrase "flying by the seat of your pants." It's like that, but applied to writing. Some people are very good at that kind of writing. Okay, next up, flash forward jumps and flash back shuffles. So first jump forward, shuffle back, and just keep doing that. If you can keep your legs lower and or shuffle faster than me, please do so. But of course this refers to the popular literary devices, flashbacks and flash forwards, where you jump sometime before or after the main plot to kind of inform what's happening in the present or enrich the characters, add some depth to everything. And next up we have turning point lunges. So you will be facing one direction and lower yourself into a lunge and then pivot on your feet. So your feet are a turning point and then you will lunge on your other side, just like this. Alright, and you just keep going like that with your feet acting as a turning point. So, a turning point is, of course, in the same category as plot and pinch points. In fact, it can be used simultaneously with both plot and pinch points because it tends to signify a point of no return for the characters, or it significantly changes the direction of the plot or the story. It's been going one way and now it's going somewhere totally different. And I can't go back. Flopping red herring. If you feel like you want a mat to cushion you, that's fine, you can go get one, but you're going to be on your belly and raise up your arms and legs as high as you can and try to move back and forth just like that. So you should feel it not only in your back and your legs and your shoulders, but your obliques. This is an intense move, and it's okay if you can only lift yourself up a little bit, but basically you're supposed to look like a fish flopping in slow motion on the ground. And it's of course a reference to the red herring, which is a really great plot device when used well. It's a distraction from the main antagonist or the true answer to a dilemma or a mystery in the story. Okay, exclamation point jumps. So arms will be up, you're going to hop and 3 times and then click your heels on the 4th one, just like that. So it is as if your body is the straight vertical part of the exclamation point, and you are creating the little dot with your heels. If you have any trouble with this though, it's okay. You can just rise up and down on your toes and maybe just jump for the exclamation point, like the actual point, if you feel comfortable with that. Or just work your way up to it. Okay, and we are back to the top of that circuit. Yay! with pacing runs. So remember, you will go at a light or normal pace for about 3 to 4 seconds and then sprint for about 3 to 4 seconds, and you will keep going back and forth. You'll go as hard as you can. If you have any trouble with this move, you can make it a lower impact by just stepping or raising your knees, alternating your knees, alternating knee raises, and just pick up speed whenever you feel comfortable. Keep going, keep going. You're almost done with this move. Yay! Okay, back to the deadlift tips and hops. I think I was so busy explaining this move that I didn't actually get into rising and falling action. And you probably know what it is, but just in case, it's closely related to pacing and plot and pinch points and all those things, in that they are all necessary to create the rising and the falling action, and actually, vice versa. The rising action being that the obstacles and the stakes are rising, and then after some climactic moment, or as you're getting to the end of the story, that's where the falling action comes in and start winding things down. A tricky thing to get right, but so important. Just like most other things with writing. Okay, we are back to the plot and pinch point plyos. Imagine that you've got a wave underneath your feet, and you are going to put the plot and pinch points on that wave with your feet. So every time your foot is at one of your feet is at the top, that's putting a plot point there, and every time a foot goes behind you, that's when you're placing a pinch point. And every story needs to fluctuate between those two things to really flesh out the characters and keep people engaged. And and of course, yes, if you're having trouble with the jumping here, just step. Okay, next we are back to the speaker tag shuffle jumps. Prepare to create dialogue. You have to take this very seriously. Have you ever read a story where it was unclear whether somebody was speaking because maybe there weren't any speaker tags where they were supposed to be, or you weren't sure if something was being quoted? I remember reading a book in high school where the whole style of the writing did not include any speaker tags or quotation marks, even when people actually were talking. It was a little tricky to understand sometimes. So these tags, they're so useful and so important, and I hope that after doing this exercise, you appreciate all the hard work that they put in to create order out of a chaotic world. Don't mind me, I get dramatic randomly sometimes. It's the story of my life. Alright, back to side kicks. This time with your other side. Remember to put in as much momentum as you possibly can. If you can kick faster than me, feel free. I just usually have to get my bearings back after I have put as much force as I can into each kick. Move your arms, swing them to try and help yourself get that momentum. I think that I'm better at kicking now than I was back when I recorded this video, because I've done a lot more kickboxing since then. And I've done a lot of kickboxing before this too, but even more since then. I love kickboxing. And also, on that last move, I'm curious, Let me know who your favorite and or least favorite literary sidekicks are and why. For now, we will go back to those pantser squats. Get ready, get set, and pull those pants up. Yes, just yank them up. You gotta be super good at pantsing. Just like this. Wait, no, that's not what I meant. I just remembered that pantsing kind of means something completely different. But yes, you should be good at putting on pants to be a pantser. Oh my gosh, what am I even saying? When I was first dabbling in writing as a kid, I was certainly more of a pantser because I just wanted to write for the fun of it. But these days, I am very much a meticulous outliner. If you are a writer, let me know in the comments which you are and your philosophy behind it, or why you are that way. Okay, flash forward jumps and flashback shuffles. All right, and go! Shuffled up for a second there. That's okay. When we make mistakes, we just keep going. Oftentimes mistakes in writing, if they have to do with plot and not just like grammar or spelling, they're referred to as plot holes most of the time. But I remember reading a post, I want to say it was like one of those reposted Tumblr posts. I've never actually been on Tumblr, but I see the posts appear on Pinterest and Facebook and the like. It said something like how plot holes are just places to build your fan fiction or something to that effect. I thought it was quite good. Okay, turning point lunges. I will not lie. As I said the last time we did this move, often turning points mark a point of no return, and every time I say that phrase, I think of that song from Phantom of the Opera. Past the point of no return, the final threshold. I love the musical. And actually, if you stick with me, you will find that later this year I will post a Phantom of the Opera workout series. It's already been recorded, and it will go up later this year. All right, back to the flopping red herring. So, I don't know if you already knew this. I did not know about it until I read about it recently. Red herrings originally referred to a political action. Well, let me back up a little bit. So, herrings can be cooked in such a way as to make their skin turn red, and they used to be used to train hunting dogs, to help them learn how to be focused. Some newspapers at one point in the early 1800s reported that Napoleon had lost his wars when that wasn't actually true, and someone else criticized them for that, saying that it was a political red herring distracting from other important political and domestic issues. And of course, it kind of stuck, and it became famous for its use in the literary world, especially for thrillers and mysteries, which I love, although I'm primarily a fantasy writer myself. Exclamation point jumps! I think the heel click is kind of fun, honestly. There's just something about a heel click that just makes things feel more whimsical. Maybe it's because of its association with like fae dances that have heel clicks. At least maybe that's how it is in my mind. I don't know. All I know is that it's fun and that it made me think of exclamation points, so that's why we're doing it. You're welcome. And water break! Yay! So you do get a 1-minute break from the HIIT moves, although I want you to continue moving so that your heart rate doesn't go all the way down, but definitely take this time to hydrate yourself. You can dance like I am, just very gentle dancing to keep your body warm and prepared to work without without overexerting yourself. Oh, this is always so much fun. So, yes, you get a break from the HIIT, but you don't get a break from me. Ha ha. You still have to stay with me for another like 20 minutes. All right, next up, the plot twist circuit. So first, lunge forward and then twist toward the lunging leg, just like that. And just doing one side for right now. So of course, everything in this circuit will involve twisting of some kind. You'll be working a bunch of different muscles, but the common denominator in all of them will be your obliques. Which is why I really enjoy this circuit, other than the fact that it's just fun to put more puns into this whole series. There you go. Try to keep your knee perpendicular to the floor as well so that you're not straining it. But if for whatever reason, twisting also involves muscles in your back. So if you're experiencing any abnormal or sharp pain while doing this circuit, either make your twists smaller or just leave out the twists and just, I'll assume that you're doing them in spirit. Sometimes our bodies are not prepared to do all the things that we want them to do, and that is fine. You're still moving, right? And that matters. It's just like with writing, Sometimes it's not going exactly the way that you want it to. But the important thing is that you just keep doing it. You can't edit a blank page, right? And you can't keep working on your body if you're not actually working. Okay, hop plot twists. Yay! These are pretty fun. But I like hopping. If you've watched my other workouts, you probably already know that. So you're just gonna be twisting your body from side to side while hopping. If you have any trouble with the hopping, you can just step from side to side, or you can just twist your upper body. Although I would encourage you in that case to squat as low as you can, just to try and get more tension into the move, burn a few more calories. Twist as far as you can, though. I've seen some people able to go like they're able to turn their body completely 180 degrees with each twist, and that is crazy to me. I aspire to that. Alright, now we are doing mountain climbers with twists. I have to apologize in advance for this one, because, I'm sure there are lots of you out there that enjoy mountain climbers. I am not one of them, but I acknowledge that they are so good for you. They work like every muscle in your body, and it's easy to add a twist to them. I felt like there are so many other kinds of exercises with twists in them, and I could have chosen those, but I felt like I should put this one in just because it is so effective. I give credit where it's due, even if I don't like where it's due. Keep going, almost there, and yay, you made it, and so did I! Good job, past self. Okay. Next, plot twist knee-ups and kicks. So first you'll raise a knee and move your opposite elbow toward it, and then you will kick your leg up, move your opposite open hand toward it, exactly like this, on one side of your body. can go slower or faster, however you would prefer. Don't lose your balance. And if you have any trouble with the kicking, just raise your knee. Just keep raising your knee, I should say. That's perfectly fine. You're still moving. And of course, if you feel like it's not challenging enough as it is, just add a hop every time you raise your knee or your whole leg. Nice work. Same move, but on the other side this time. So, of course, plot twists are very important and compelling aspects of many different kinds of stories, and probably especially in stories that involve mysteries or thrillers, anything where you want people to be guessing and keep them in suspense or shock them. They can be big twists or small twists or just series of small twists. Anything like that. Oh my goodness. I mean, I know that balance is not my strongest point, but man, I feel like I'm losing it even more than usual in this workout. I must have been tired. Okay. Lunges with plot twists. So we are back to the top of this circuit. I want to say that very often the best plot twists are combined with other important literary elements, such as red herrings and turning points and pinch points. And sometimes they have to do with other, well, or even with flashbacks or flash forwards. They can inform you about a plot twist, or foreshadow a twist that's coming up. But either way, I think that the best twists are ones where once it happens, you feel like you should have seen it coming. Like the clues were all there, and you just didn't realize that they were clues. So they could also be related to Chekhov's gun, you know, that principle. All right, next, do the other side. By the way, in case you're wondering, I am not touching my knee to the floor, or at least I try not to. I let it hover just slightly above to keep that tension in the back leg. So you should be feeling this in both legs each time you do it. But anyway, I think even then, plot twists sometimes can feel very contrived or just cheap, or like cop-outs. You know, it can be tricky to get a plot twist right, to make it genuinely surprising without feeling like you were just you were just going purely for shock value. I think the twist still needs to add something to the story and not just try to make it interesting. You know, or make it feel like it's trying too hard. I hope this is making sense. I am a better writer than I am a speaker. Maybe one of these days I should try just writing out dialogue or a workout and just have it scrolling on the side. See how that goes. That could be an interesting experiment anyway. And stop. Back to with twists. Now, I didn't say this last time, but hopefully you already knew. I will definitely say it this time in case it didn't occur to you. If you have any trouble with the high impact version of this move, you know, with basically running with your hands on the floor, then just step. You can step and twist. You know, on days where I am especially tired or my wrists hurt for whatever reason, I alternate between running and stepping with mountain climbers. Just do whatever you have to do to keep going. Think of characters who inspire you. They too will just do whatever they have to do to keep going, and so can you. Which, thinking about things like that is partly why I got so into exercise, to the point that I could actually genuinely love it and come up with my own routines like these. All right. Flat twist knee-ups and kicks. But as we know, sometimes our favorite protagonists needed to rest for a little while too. So if you need to, you can always feel free to pause this video and come back to it later. I had to do that plenty of times in my earliest days of trying to get into shape, you know. It's definitely a process, and it's okay. I have come a long way, and if you are just starting your journey, don't worry about having a long way to go as well. I'm not judging you at all. I've been there. I have been on that very hero's journey. See what I did there? Oh my gosh. So many puns in this series. It's wonderful. I'm sorry if you don't like puns, but I mean, that's just the way it is. This nerdy workouts, a lot of the moves are going to be puns. Some of them are going to be like actual interpretations of something within the theme, and sometimes they're just puns, and hopefully you can just laugh about that. I sure do. It's part of what makes it fun, in my opinion. And here is a plot twist for you. You are done! Yay! Now we're on to the reading time circuit. So this is the point in the Bookworm series workout where you actually get to be your bookworm self and read. You can either pretend to read or have an actual book with you during this circuit. Let's start with the chair sit. So you're basically just squatting as low as you can get with your legs together. I think I might be able to get lower now if I were to re-record this workout. Here it is from the other side. You can see me getting as low as possible. It's killer on the legs though, especially after everything else you've been through in this workout. But I hope that you feel like you can relax, you know, as you're reading your little book in your little chair. And up. Next we are doing the rocking chair. So here's where you will want that mat, which you saw me roll out earlier. If you don't already have one and you feel like you need one, go get it, roll it out. Make your body feel like it's in the shape of a C. It won't actually look like one, but just make it feel like one. And rock back and forth with the book in your hands. So you're not using them to help yourself roll back and forth. You are using your core. You don't have to do the hip lift when you're on your back. I just do that for a little extra ab work. The important thing is that you are reading in a nice, cozy rocking chair right now. And if you don't feel cozy, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's not like you're exercising right now, right? You're just in a rocking chair, that's all. What's the problem? Okay, sitting V-hold. So, if you haven't done a V-hold before, you're just raising your legs in the shape of a V, and you'll still be holding a book in your hands. Alright, and just like that. Basically think of yourself as in a reclining chair, and you are wiggling your body to get really, really cozy in it, to get just the right position. I don't do the twists for the entire move, but you can if you want to. I just alternate as I feel so inclined. As I feel inclined while reclining. I'm so funny. It's okay if you don't laugh at me. Okay, next up, book throws / butterfly crunches. So if you've never done a butterfly crunch, you're basically taking your knees out as far as you can get them, and then coming up with your core. Having your knees out like that helps you not use your hips too much, and you know, so that you're focusing more on your core, and just pretend like you are throwing a book across the room. You've been reading on the floor, and then you're really mad about something that a character has done, or the author is just a really bad writer, or they killed a character that you love, or you're just super heartbroken and you are showing it through your rage. Just about every bookworm has thrown a book, or at least they have wanted to throw a book. Let me know what book you're thinking of during that move. All right, and we are starting at the top of that circuit with another chair sit. Ah, yay, you're so happy, right, that you get to continue relaxing after all the work that you've done in this workout. Why are you frowning at me? What? Am I not speaking the truth here? This is super relaxing. Show me how relaxed you are reading this book. Yes. Oh, this reminds me of a workout video that I did years and years and years ago, and I looked at the comments afterward, and this chair sit pose was in that workout as well. And one of the commenters said something like, "Who would have thought that the hardest part of this workout would be sitting down?" That made me laugh. Okay. Alright, we're gonna try the rocking chair again. Hopefully you'll have an easier time reading there. Wait, what do you mean that you're still sweating? What? Reading doesn't make you sweat unless it's a very suspenseful book. Or unless you're referring to sweating out of your eyes, but most people just call that crying. I mean, you might be doing both at this point, I don't know. I would understand. And not just because of the workout and all the strenuous activity that you've been doing. It could also be because, you know, as you are thinking of what book you have in your hands right now, perhaps it's one that has made you cry. So, yeah, there are lots of reasons why you might be sweating and crying at the same time. Sorry, kind of. Alright, back to the sitting the old. With twists if you want them. If you didn't get enough of the plot twists already. Or you can just make it into a little game. Every time you think of a plot twist, whether a good one or a bad one, twist. In fact, I don't think I've asked this yet. In the comments, tell me about your favorite or least favorite plot twists. The ones that you felt like were really well executed, or the most shocking, or the most life-changing even. And or the twists that you felt like just did not work out the way that the author probably intended them to. Alright. You guys, you're almost there. All you have to do is throw your book a few more times, and then you're going to be all done with this workout. Taken out of context, that really wouldn't make any sense, would it? I mean, I would not suggest, I think, again, as bookworms, we've probably all thrown books or wanted to throw books. But I don't actually suggest doing it if you can control your emotions enough. We want to respect our literary treasures. Although, if a book has ever made you so, really, really upset, have you ever done worse than just throwing it? Like, have you ever hated a book so much that you burned it or you tore it up or something like that? I mean, I can't imagine doing that, even to a book that I hated. They just seem too precious for that. But if you beg to differ, please let me know. Oh my gosh! We're done! Woohoo! Now it is time for the falling action portion of the workout. The stretching. Oh my gosh. I love all the fun little puns that I am coming up with. I'm having the time of my life. I think that's also the second time that I have sung in this workout. Oh my gosh, I am on a roll here. This is great. Anyway, as you can see, I am doing one of my favorite stretches here. So your leg comes forward and then you twist toward it with your arm up. I love it because I feel it everywhere, and I do it at the end of a lot of my workout sessions, but especially when I have sore muscles. Such a big help. And walk back up with your hands. I mean, you don't have to, but it's usually the easiest and safest way to come back up. And now we'll do cliffhanger stretches again. Because you need to feel those stretches in all of your muscles, and these are the ones where you're going to feel it. Nothing like a good cliffhanger, right? To keep you coming. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Ta-da! Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.